Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, peeps and seeps, welcome back to the Mac Life, the #1 podcast here in the world. We're back for episode 159. If you're new to the channel, we go over absolutely everything to do with growing your brand online, monetizing that brand, OnlyFans marketing for creators, and OnlyFans management. So how to manage ladies' OnlyFans accounts and make exacerbative amounts of money. Now, if this is the first video that you've watched, I do these in podcast style format. As I've said in the last 159 episodes, this is a podcast. It's not just available here on YouTube, it's everywhere. So we go over some business updates, we build a little bit of a connection, and then we get into the main parenthesis of the video at the end. And in today's video, I'll be explaining how I started an OnlyFans agency within 24 hours, shifting from e-commerce across into OnlyFans, some of the results that I acquired, and how you can do the same. Set up your OnlyFans agency in 24 hours, get going, and then obviously some tips and strategies I've learned along the way to maximize the profits. Let me just adjust this because the light is actually burning out my fucking retinas today. That better, you reckon? Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit better. Got the top light on. I don't know, the lighting just seems a little bit off today. You can see I've tried to balance the orange and the blue. I know I really haven't got too much depth going on, but it's because of where we are at the moment. I'm just weighing up my options at the moment of deciding, I guess that's topic one, and we have some really cool topics today. You know, I'm trying to weigh up my options of, I've been looking at penthouses here in Newcastle, whether I buy a penthouse or whether I rent a penthouse or whether I, carry on traveling because now I can travel again. So I've got some options, I've got some things to weigh up, and we'll just see how it progresses throughout this next bit of time. I definitely want to hit Eastern Europe very soon, but I kind of want to tie it into getting my veneers put in so I don't have to fly to Turkey, fly back, because I hate long fucking traveling. It's the biggest waste of time. I hate traveling. Can't wait till the day where we have teleporters. So yeah, I think, I'll try and time it in, and when I have a private jet, I'm sure I'll enjoy it, but we're a little bit of a way off that yet. So, we're going to get into quite a lot today. There's actually some really juicy topics to get into. Some relate to OnlyFans already inside of this section, but the first one is the Instagram verification. This has been something I've talked about for a year. We haven't been able to get it now. You've seen the persistence. You've seen the consistency that I put in. We have not been able to get it. Today, that dude is going to refund me. He's just decided it's not worth the hassle. He was going to try and shift and try a different music route, and then he said to me, look, it's most likely going to take another 2 months. Plus, then he tried to, it doesn't make sense. He basically said, look, you're going to need more articles. I was like, okay, how much? And he was like, whatever amount. And I was like, okay, let's just use the credit that you were going to use for the refund and do that. He was like, no, I can't do that. And I was like, well, is the refund still available? And he's like, yeah, I'll just refund you today. And I was like, I don't understand how that doesn't make sense, that you wouldn't just use the money you were going to refund someone to pay for that package. But that's on him. I'm going to get that refund sorted. So if not, it is what it is, but we're going to carry on. We're going to try the entrepreneur route. It's going to be a little bit harder, but I have learned some lessons along the way. I've learned the fact that you need a lot of verified Instagram comments, which is easy to get. You can just buy those on your posts. So this is all about social proofing. Social proofing is so easy. And I never recommend, lying or creating a falsified lifestyle. That is the worst possible thing you can do. But the power of being verified on Instagram, if you know how to get verified, you 100% should, because if it decreases the time to trust even the smallest amount and you believe in your product or service, it's a massive win-win across the board. So yeah, that being said, I've actually wrote down today, talk about this for study last night. I realized, right, it's taken a lot of time and I've thrown a lot of capital at this and I still haven't been able to get it. So what is missing? If other people can get it and, I have just as much capital as them and I can't acquire it, I have the same sort of connections, but I can't get it. What am I missing? The effort. And when I realized the effort that a lot of people actually put into this, I need to just double down on my efforts, and I can sit and I can whinge and I can complain that, I didn't get my verification, or I can just do what's required, roll the fucking dice. So we're going to roll the dice. I'm going to put in more effort. Last night, okay, I went through and I wrote down a filthy little list of every single person that I know that got verified using these methods through the music route and through the entrepreneur route. I went through every single Google article that they've been published on. And then I compiled the list and wrote down all of the ones that matched and basically created a pattern between what what articles they all shared and what articles some of them had, some of them didn't. So simply put, okay, I created a list of every Google search article they appeared in, and then I looked for patterns, because if they're all verified, but some have different articles to others, but yet they all share the common articles, wouldn't it make sense that, you know, you could get verified without the outlying articles? The outlying articles mustn't be the things that got them verified, because some are verified without those articles, meaning that the only reason they got verified is because of the shared articles. Pretty simple. But I've written down every single one of the shared articles that people have. So if you're ready for me to read it out, there's quite a lot, and it will cost quite a bit to get into these things. However, this is what's needed, I believe, to get verified as an entrepreneur on Instagram. You need a Forbes listing, okay? You need an entrepreneur listing. They're your two most expensive, because you can pay for all of this press, but they're going to be pretty expensive. Cheapest quote I've got for one featuring entrepreneurs around 5,000 US. The cheapest quote I've got for Forbes is around 10,000 US. So you're already looking at $15,000 US just to start off, okay? You can get cheaper Forbes articles listed, like Forbes Monaco, Forbes Africa, some of these cheaper ones. But if it's going to work, who knows? Anyway, on top of that, you definitely need a Google Knowledge Panel. And I have created a way to get a Google Knowledge Panel without being sold it. You've seen how many times I've been sold Google Knowledge Panels, and they've all been taken down. I accidentally, in the midst of this, created my own Google Knowledge Panel, and it's not being taken down. It stays, it remains, because of the fact that it's being carried from so many sources. So I'll explain how to do that at the end of this, but I'm going to get out this list for you. You need a Forbes feature, you need an entrepreneur feature, you need a Google Knowledge Panel. These are the shared ones between 10 different entrepreneurs that I know, okay, that all had these things. They had. And you can write these down. I'll probably put a list inside the Hive for Hive members. We have Hort Living, Science Times, Business Deacon, UNLE Bird, Thrive Global, iTech Post, LA Weekly, thehandbook.com, Medium, ED Times. I have no idea what the fuck I wrote there. How to use something.com, Big Time Daily, Just Paste It, Newsnet Ledger, Tech Times, Tech Bullion, Influensive, Time Bulletin, Kino Daily, Kino Profi, it's like movie daily. Kino means like movie or film in Russian. Kino Daily, IB Times, Disrupt Mag, ConnectWithInfluencers.com, American Reporter, Science Times, Ninja Outreach, and New York Weekly. They're the main ones that I've seen, okay, that are shared between all of them. And I've already got a lot of these, so we don't have too many more to get on, but, you know, some of these articles, like $800 per article is the cheapest quote that I've found. And, you know, then we have the big ones, which is another 10K there. So if we get the money back from the IG, from the other ones, I can chuck that in straight away. Not that I don't have the capital, but it would be nice just to go, oh, okay, this didn't work. I can at least get Forbes and Entrepreneur. Plus, Forbes and Entrepreneur adds a little bit of credibility inside itself. You know, even if you don't have a IG verification, but someone sees, oh, you're verified on Forbes, oh, you have a feature on Forbes, oh, you have a feature on Entrepreneur, okay, it adds that little bit more credibility. On top of that, I need to get all the music stuff removed from Google, which is going to be a hassle, but the dude promised me he can take care of it. So the Mac Life is no longer #1 space rapper on the internet, okay? That's just what it is. Now let me explain how to get the Google Knowledge Panel. The easiest way that I have found to acquire the Google Knowledge Panel has been to simply do a podcast, what I've been telling you all for so long now. When I shared my podcast just from YouTube, it was just available on YouTube. When I entered stage 2 of scaling, and I believe you could do this with as minimal as 10 podcasts, once I shared it to the audio synchronicity from Rumble, I set it up on Google Podcasts, Apple Music, and Spotify. Within the space of like 2 days, it had populated as its own Google Knowledge Panel with a picture with everything. So if you want to get a Google Knowledge Panel, I feel this is the easiest way to do it. Just make sure that all the information across all of them match. On top of that, I'm already ranking first page on Spotify for OnlyFans marketing now. I will take position #1 soon, and then after that, we'll branch out into the marketing section. I'll work my way to the front page of marketing. So that's a big update for all of you. And on top of that, if you want to know a little bit more about social proofing for an OnlyFans agency or as an OnlyFans creator, I actually put up a video inside Business Training. I called it social proofing or something like that. So you can go through, I've done a whole video that's on the computer, very like simple. It's not in podcast style. And I talk about how to social proof your agency, or if you're a creator, how to social proof yourself very, very quickly if you're just starting out. So that video is there too. Next thing, the Hive automation is now up and running. So if members are missing payments, okay, Zapier sends a zap to Discord that essentially moves you back to the pending chat lobby. So you will not be able to chat until your payment has been rectified. And the reason that I've done this is simply for the fact that it is going to help to reduce churn across the board. Whether it seems a little bit harsh, okay, it just helps to reduce churn. If you're not a paying member, you don't get to contribute to the Discord group and you don't get to leach information. That may sound harsh, but we only want killers in there. We only want people who are professionals. And so that's the community that I'm building. On top of that, for churn, you know, this is something that I recommend you do with your mindset when it comes to churn. It's something that I've adopted very recently is rather than looking at churn as a problem to be solved, look at churn as an opportunity to make more money. Now, Alex Hormozi gives a fantastic example. If people are to churn and leave the gym and you never contact them, you never outreach them, that's it. They've cancelled their membership. But if you have parameters in place where you can contact them or they have to come in, I would never force people to have to contact me before cancelling. I have a cancel anytime policy. But I'm trying to set it up so that there's an exit survey. Kajabi doesn't allow that currently, so I have to cold outreach. But hopefully Kajabi takes my suggestions very soon and adds that feature. I look at it as an opportunity to make more money. Maybe, okay, let's take the gym example. People come in, they do the 12-week program. After 3 weeks, they're not getting the results they want and they leave. And they come to you and maybe if you said nothing, they would just leave and that's it, they're gone. But instead, if you had them have to come into you and they said, well, why are you leaving? They said, well, look, I really only get time to work out 3 days a week, so I'm not able to compete with everyone else and I don't want to get left behind. That's why I'm quitting. And you say to them, well, why wouldn't you just, 3 days a week, do one-on-ones? You'll probably get way better results if you're just doing 3 days a week, but you have one-on-one. And they say, I didn't even know that was an option. Otherwise, I'd stick around and do it. And you say it is. It's a more expensive option, but, that is an option. They say, well, fuck yeah, sign me up for that. Get me out of the 12-week program, get me onto this. And so what happens is, it's gone from losing a customer to actually upselling a customer, to making more money. So the way I want you to approach churn inside of OnlyFans is don't think, oh, a customer left. Look at it now as an opportunity to upsell. And on top of that, okay, with your customers, they've now added a new tab inside of OnlyFans called expired, okay? I believe I've got the terminology right. Expired subscribers. So people who have expired, you can now message them. That is insane. You have the ability to reach out to them. And that should be a daily task that you're reaching out. And if you think, yeah, well, I'm annoying that person, they're not replying. Who cares? What do you have to lose? If you're reaching out to them every single day and they don't reply for 4 days, it doesn't matter because they weren't going to come back anyway. But you should have a team putting that effort in because it might be day 55 that they're like, you know what, fuck it, I'll come back. She's pretty persistent. She must have some good titties to show. Okay, that's the importance. Post churn, you should hassle. So, next thing. Out of all my thumbnails, I've been getting really good thumbnails created, and I've definitely seen a view count on average. But when I look at the data, I come across something today while analyzing my data that I stumbled across. So I've had all different sorts of thumbnails. Thumbnails I created myself with Canva, thumbnails that are just a focus on text, thumbnails that have the graph and the arrows and the circle. What's that? Is that for me? Delivery. Thumbnails that have all different things. But what I found is, surprisingly enough, my thumbnails that have outperformed all other thumbnails inside of the entire channel all feature women. They all feature sexy or attractive looking girls. And that has got the most clicks out of anything. So, because I'm in the OnlyFans industry, it's very, very simple, isn't it? I can either just use pictures of the models that work for me and put them on every single video. Or, okay, I can buy content from girls and use that with a content release form. Or very simple, I can just use sites that have free licensing of pictures with attractive women. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be handling it, but that's just a suggestion I passed on to the dude who creates thumbnails. And that's the importance of being in a business long term and sticking with one lane. You wouldn't be able to analyze and collect this data unless you've put in the reps, unless you've put in the rounds. So now I can just simply look and say, well, thumbnails with girls perform a lot better. So all my thumbnails from here on out will feature attractive looking women in them. Not today's thumbnail, obviously, because it takes a bit of time for my thumbnail editor to get them across. But this one will eventually have an attractive woman in it. And eventually what I'll do is I'll pay my thumbnail dude, again, probably at the end of the year, to go through all of the hundreds of videos, okay? And I'll just pay him a one-off big-ass payment to go through and create thumbnails with attractive-looking women in all of them. And so, like I said, when it comes to the stage 3, which we're a while off yet, I will redistribute all of my YouTube videos into multiple channels with all different titles and all different thumbnails as well. And so I think that will be the massive game changer that will take, I feel that will take the personal brand to an 8-figure mark, but that's quite a while off yet. So on top of that, YouTube, is now gaining 1,000 subscribers a month. Well, it says 780 or something, but look at the jump from 600 to 780 in that last update. But I've been watching it, monitoring it, just eye level. I noticed that it's gaining like 40 or 50 subscribers a day now. So we're moving at that point, that's already over 1,000 a month on average. And YouTube takes 28-day data rather than 30 data that it chucks on your front page dashboard. I know you can look further in the analytics, but that's what it gives you straight up. So I'm gaining over 1,000 subscribers a month, I know now. I used to gain 30 a month. And people are going to say, oh, you've just blown up all of a sudden you've blown up. It must be the content you're doing now, it must be this, but it's not. There's 159 episodes out there, it's volume. I've gotten better. The way in which I project has gotten better. The way in which I do things is getting better. And so not only has my skill increased, but I've also got a mass amount of volume there. Think, if even I get one additional view a day now per podcast, and I get a lot more than that, I'm gathering 159 new eyeballs a day. If one new person watches each podcast, I gain 159 new watchers a day. Now you think of what that means in terms of branding. And the best part about YouTube is it's intent-based searching. People are coming across these podcasts or my videos with intent. They're searching for answers. I don't just randomly type up fucking underwater hopscotch and I start watching an underwater hopscotch video. That just doesn't happen. Unless I'm looking for it, I wouldn't be searching for it. So the majority of these viewers are already pre-warmed up with the topics that I'm talking about. And then to add on top of that, think about that. That's if I'm only getting one new eyeball per video a day. I'm getting a lot more than that. So you think about that in terms of brand reach. This is why I'm hammering YouTube. Minimum 12 months from now, I'm going to gain an additional 12,000 subscribers. Think about that for a second. I went from gaining like 30 a month and people say, oh yeah, but you're only at 5K. Yeah, but I stick with it a year from now and I'm at minimum plus another 12K. All of a sudden I'm at 17K. I stick with it another year. All of a sudden we're at fucking 29K. And you're like, fuck, he's blowing up overnight. He's not. But the thing is, it'll just keep compounding and compounding. So I'm excited. I'm excited more so because I get to project to all of you that the shit I'm talking about really works. And the best thing is, you get to watch the document of every single day. Every single journey, I'm here talking about it. And you just get to watch it grow and grow and grow. So, I think that's it. Oh, we've got one last little update. And then we're getting into the OnlyFans style of things. Now, they're just some testimonials from today. So scrolling through the Hive, you can see I posted them on the YouTube feed already. The other ones I've posted on Instagram, I think, and I left one out because he didn't block out the names of the subscribers and I couldn't be fucked highlighting them out. But we have 3 new great testimonials. 2 are from the same member and then one's from a different member. One of the Hive members, okay, since joining, now he's bought a BMW, his new BMW, and he's bought a new motorbike. I'm not heavy into motorbiking, but he bought himself a new road bike. I probably wouldn't have invested there. I would have spent, my early stage money on investments, crypto, saving capital or paid promotion or whatever. But he's already made over 100K with the OnlyFans. Join the Hive, made over 100K. And the crazy thing is, these are people that are not like, oh, this is a testimonial from fucking bullshit. This is a legit member. When you join the Hive Minds, you can go in and you can chat with these people. You can see them talking in there. You can chat. You can ask, bro, how'd you get there? What are you doing that I'm not? What do you see that I don't? How'd you do it in a year? Well, it actually all happened in the last 3 months since I did this. Now you've saved 9 months' time. And on top of that, we have another Hive member. This is just from today, remember. This is just 2 testimonials that I scrolled through in the chat today. Another one's hit 10k euro, only been inside the Hive 1.5 months, selling higher ticket through PayPal. What are you doing? Why are you not in the Hive is the question. Okay, let's have a look. So, we're going to talk about how I started an OnlyFans agency inside of 24 hours. And if you don't know how I started an OnlyFans agency or why, I'm very, very big about being one lane focused. And I have been one lane focused because I still see OnlyFans as e-commerce. I just see it as selling the easiest product or putting yourself in the easiest boat. You know, I switched from e-commerce doing like 6-figure stores, making 6-figure profit. We had 7-figure stores in terms of rev. And I switched to OnlyFans. Within the space of 24 hours, I already had fucking chicks working for me. I already had girls signed up. I already had things moving. Why? Because I just applied the principles from e-commerce that I already knew. And so the biggest ones, you know, when I look back, okay, over my time as an entrepreneur, you know, and I haven't even been an entrepreneur that long. Well, I would consider myself since I was a kid being an entrepreneur, but, you know, in business, in a solidified business in the last 5 or 6 years. I look at all the things that I didn't think were working at the time, and they were the micro doses for each building block for each skill. You know, so when I moved across to OnlyFans, I already had a mass, you know, amalgamation of skills that I could apply to enhance very, very quickly. So what did I have? What skills did I have, and how could you replicate the same thing starting your agency? Well, I already knew how to hire team members. I already had team members that could shift over and help me. I had customer support teams in place. I had people who could do cold outreach. I already had a personal brand and connections and people that I could leverage. I already had well-known influencers that I could ask for help and ask for, you know, if they had anyone that they knew would want to work with me. So I'd already built like a mini community of relevant people and relevant resources. On top of that, I understood how to build a website very, very quickly. Within the space of a day, I could get an OnlyFans agency page up. I could have that monopolized. I could have that moving. So I already had website development. I already had understanding of how to send out emails and web flows, so automations, how to get email automations so that the traffic would convert the highest, or I could convert the highest percentage of traffic. I already understood sales copy and how to make sure that my website was attractive and appealing to people, and I already understood what the value ladder was and what the value model was. I already understood pricing so that I knew as soon as I brought people across, I could make the most amount of profit and reutilize that money to grow the brand quicker. I already understood how to run paid ads and social media ads on media buying on pretty much all platforms. We're talking about TikTok. We're talking, you know, we're talking Google placement ads. And search and display ads. We're talking about IG DM ads. We're talking about how to monopolize affiliates to do the work for you. So I already understood this whole range of things. I understood social proofing. And these are all skills that I'd learned along the way that I didn't realize were important. And I don't think I've actually given this story here on any podcast, but I want to tell you, I can't remember the exact timeline, but I was working for a lady. So how I come to work for this lady, right? I was already doing web design. And I messaged back and forth, and I used to send out thousands of cold emails a week, legitimately thousands of cold emails pitching web design to people. And this lady said, "Oh, do you have any other skills other than web design? I can see you've da-da-da-da-da." And I chatted back and forth with her, and she said, "I think you're really intelligent. I'd love to have you on board." And so I worked, I'm not going to give the name of her store, and I worked for her e-commerce brand, and she sold products that she imported from Bali, and she had an online store, plus she did little market stalls around Australia. Now, the exchange for all the marketing that I was putting in was $100 a week. She paid me $100 a week, and I'm talking like, I went above and beyond. I handled her IG pages, posts, curating posts, emails. I handled inflow of new customers, commenting on like Pinterest posts to drive traffic, setting up a Pinterest profile and driving as much traffic, writing blogs, everything. Like I did an immense amount of work for $100 simply because I wanted to gain these skills and learn this knowledge. And so it actually ended up quite a sad story. Towards the end, what happened is she said to me, "I want you to itemize all the things that you're doing." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "I want to know exactly what you're doing for the $100 a week." And I felt pissed because I was like, I'm doing fucking $1,000 worth of work, honestly. And I could see her sales jumping massively. And you can track things with UTM parameters. You can see where the sales are coming from with inside of Shopify. So I was pissed. But what I didn't realize was her as an experienced business lady was thinking this. he's done all this work and pretty much all this setup for me to get everything set up. If he itemized the list of what he's doing, okay, I can just pay a freelancer probably $10 a week to do it. And so it was out of her own stinginess to save $90 a week, okay, that she said itemize everything because I knew she was going to cut me. And I just said, I'm not willing to itemize anything. And she said, no worries. And then how brutal is this? She didn't even pay me the $100 for the last week. Like, I'd worked that entire week. She didn't even send me the $100. And at the time, I was furious and I was pissed and I was young and inexperienced. But I sat there and I thought, you know what? Fuck this bitch. I thought, wait a minute. I'm generating all her sales. Like, when I come on board, I'm not kidding. She was doing, and I recorded it at the time. She was doing maybe, I don't know, 130 online, a lot in store, but maybe $130 online. With the combined total of all the organic shit that I was doing, and this was all organic, we got to $600, $700 days, and some days like plus $1,000 online. And so I built up this massive thing for her, and I thought, like, this fucking bitch, like, da-da-da-da-da. Now I've got to search for new clients. I was already doing clients at the time, and I thought, I've got to search for new clients. And then what I remembered is, hold up, what does she have that I don't? I've built all of this. Sure, she has the in-person, brand, and she knows people, and she's got some traffic coming from her little stores that are going online. But what does she really have? She has products. And so I was like, I don't know how to get products. And then I was like, she goes to Bali and she does this. And I was like, why can't I find products? And that, I moved across into e-commerce. I think the actual video that I seen about dropshipping was Ty Lopez talking about it. And I heard about it enough. And I kind of always was like, ugh, dropshipping seems... It's funny. I look back and I was like, dropshipping seems, scammy. That's how even my mindset was capped. And I was like, dropshipping seems a bit, disingenuous and all this shit. Anyway, I think he gave a free video on YouTube of him talking to a seminar about e-commerce and dropshipping, and him talking to all these in-house students that were sitting there. They'd paid to be there, and then he later distributed it online. And I was sitting there watching, and it resonated with me at the time. I was like, fuck this bitch. I can do this. I could do drop shipping. And I think that's how I transitioned into drop shipping. And I was like, I had some failed stores after that. I was like, I set up this one, Mac Life Cosmetics. It was so bad. And I found all the products from AliExpress and and tried Google Ads. And then I went on to find Facebook Marketplace and make money that way. But I look at it and I was like, look at these learning blocks of things that I learned along the way that allowed me to shift. At the time, I thought they were failures, and they allowed me to shift into OnlyFans. So if you want to get into OnlyFans, these are skills that you need to say, I'm going to commit to it for 5 to 6 to 10 years, because just like any industry, you're not going to see magnificent result without putting in the volume. And the sad thing is, I think it's almost bad for you to start in OnlyFans first, because if you don't have that developed mindset of conviction, you're starting off in the easiest opportunity vehicle available to you. And if you can't succeed in OnlyFans, which is usually only because you're not willing to put in the work, you won't succeed in any business. Now, I know that sounds critical and sounds harsh, but it's very, very true. I had people come on board. I had people inside the Hive. I had a dude I kicked out of the Hive. He complained. He come on board and he said, I've been doing this for a month and a half now and I've only made $4,000. Why Why are other people able to make 6 and I can only make this much? I do And I thought, you ungrateful little fuck. Bang! Kicked out of... I legitimately kicked him out of the Hive. For the simple reason that I thought, if that is your mindset, that you've come on board, you've only made 4K in like your first month and a half, are you fucking insane? Do you know how long it took me to make any profit online? I was working for $100 a week, working all the time of my spare time, and then trying to work other jobs that I could and flip books and do shit on the side to make my money. It's amazing. Anyway, let me get into the actual principles for you if you're looking to start an OnlyFans agency in the space of 24 hours. I pretty much describe what the first thing is. Look at your current skill set. What do you have that you can utilize? Do you have a personal brand? Do you have connections? Do you have people inside of the OnlyFans agency? And this isn't a plug, but your best option if you don't have any knowledge or anything inside the OnlyFans industry, you need to be inside the Hive Mind. Not only do you get all the training, so you're like, this is an actual roadmap of what to follow, you have a community of other people to show you and help you. We're 24/7 on Discord. We have over 600 members in there. We're 24/7 active. And the best thing is, all the members that are in the Discord are hyper active. They're people that are hustling, because if they're not, I kick them. They get kicked out. They don't survive. We're only hustlers inside the Discord. So, that's probably your best course of action. But on top of that, it would be to Start to look at all the skills the traditional businesses have, okay, successful traditional businesses have that you don't, and start to work towards those. How can I build connections very fast? How does cold outreach work? I need a website. I need to understand lead gen. I need to understand lead quality. And I have a heap of videos like this inside the business training for free on YouTube. So if you don't want to pay, they're all free. You can start to work through them. But really, I started my agency within the space of 24 hours, had it up and going, had clients, and we were already starting to work towards profit, like messages from profit. Obviously, payment takes a little bit of time to withdraw, but profitable, up and moving from day one. What sort of business can you do that? And I reviewed a girl yesterday, her first month inside OnlyFans with no social following, 12K. That is how insane it is. And so imagine you're a manager, okay? What's more important? Learning all the marketing skills at once, or learning how to convince women to work with you and then providing as much value as possible. Look at acquisition of clients. If you can find one girl, okay, who has the potential to do 12K in her first month and say, look, I'll handle everything, and then start earning 6K from your first month on a 50-50 split, that's fucking insane. You're nearly doing 6 figures a year straight away from fucking day one. I get this stupid question as well. And now you can reply to videos with shorts. So you wait and see. I'm changing the way in which I'm doing my YouTube shorts. I'm not bulk batching them anymore because I feel that YouTube's introduced this new feature to compete with TikTok. I feel it will get more views and it actually is better. Plus it saves money of me not having to pay an editor to do all these shorts videos. I'll reply to dumbass questions with some fucking answers. So wait and see. I got one that's like, yeah, but how can you find girls to work for you? It's impossible. People are so fucking dumb. What do you mean? You already know. What? There's women everywhere. All you have to do is message them. You message them on Instagram, message them on TikTok, cold DM them, use emails. You're not willing to put in the work is the thing. You just want a one-click fucking answer. Here, bro, click this fucking link and all the work's done for you, you fucking rookie. And that's the way the shorts are going to sound. Now, I hope you found some value. We discussed heaps. You got Google Podcast today. You got all the articles that you need for IG, okay? You got fucking to hear how sexy the hive mind is. We got some churn stuff in there. We got the OnlyFans tips, how to monopolize your skills. And I don't ask you to subscribe. You don't have to subscribe. But if you found some value in this, share it with someone that you think would also find value in this video. You have a friend that you're doing an agency with, share it with them, okay? You know a creator who you think these tips could help, share it with them. Remember, all the shit on YouTube's free. It's yours to use forever. I'll never take these videos down. It's all yours for free. So, hope you enjoyed and I'll see you in the next one. Baka.